Ooh, hello, hello.
Ooh. Hello.
Hello, world. Hello, Jessie, specifically.
Yes. Straight in the chat.
Straight in. Clocked in for your shift with Love to Learn
I saw
drums.
someone was waiting like half an hour ago. So whoever you were, hello to you. Let's just straighten up TikTok.
Ooh, I don't know why I've not done it like this
here.
before. That's way better. It just
What?
I kept zooming in manually, and I should have just zoomed in
Oh,
on
you
the
can press
webpage.
Control Plus as well. That will
Yeah.
zoom you in and out.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Vanessa. Hello, Jessie. Hello, Tall41.
Oh, it's Dad. Hi, Dad.
Oh, that's... Hello.
Hello, Dad.
Oh, Justin. Hello, Justin. How are we all? What are we all up to?
Hang on a minute. Is my own father not a member of our YouTube channel?
That's actually just rude. Do you not support this career path?
Honestly.
He's just going to be like, I'll take it out your rent. Oh, wait, no, you don't pay rent anymore. I genuinely just forgot that for a second. I'm like literally in your house. I just forgot.
Hello to everyone on TikTok. How are we doing?
Hello, Ganasiam on YouTube. Emma's always impressed that I can say your name. I've been practicing in front of the bathroom mirror.
Ganasiam.
Hello, Lynn. I got your name right.
Yes! It's only taken
Like
a month.
How are you all doing? Hello, Dawn. What are we up to? What's
How are we,
happening?
people?
Describe your exact scenario
Yes.
and position right now.
Unless we don't want to hear it.
Unless you're like on the toilet.
Yeah.
Oh, we don't want to hear about
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
hello, Libra. If you are having a bite to eat, if you're in bed, if you're at work, what are you working on? What jobs do you have?
So, hello to everyone on TikTok. Please do not be offended if I don't answer your questions / I don't get to them as quickly over
You're
here.
very far away.
Because you're very far away. But also, we're over here on YouTube, but don't obviously come over to YouTube because
The TikTok algorithm won't be happy
we don't
about
want that. So definitely don't do that. Do we have any,
Big M on YouTube says, I've just finished my last day of high school and I'm going to prom in a few hours. Oh my god! I didn't know they did prom on the same day as a school day.
Wild.
That's a lot of prep.
I
I needed
can't
the
remember.
day. I needed the day getting ready for my prom.
Oh god. I would show people pictures of what I wore to prom, but it was not.
I was quite happy with my dress.
It
I
was
was
not a
like,
good look.
I bought my dress in. This is when Game of Thrones was still really big, because it was 2015. And I was like, I'm gonna buy a dress that looks somewhat Daenerys Targaryen vibes,
Love
and then I
that.
can reuse this for cosplay. Did I ever use it for cosplay? No. But the intent was there, and that's the vibe I went for. So you can imagine that. I love this. I'm going to ask this question every time now because
I want to see the exact scenario in which we find
Lynn
you.
is seated at their computer with major back pain. Got a lot of
Aw.
pregnancy. Oh no!
Oh my god, but pregnant?
Yes, congratulations.
Yes.
How far along are
Yeah.
you?
If there's back pain, I'm assuming
You need to name the
reasonably
baby
far.
Emma, regardless of
Oh
gender.
my god, stop.
Justin
that ever happens, I think
says
I'll
eating
die.
peanuts, chilling at my desk, and setting up / spacing my drums. Maybe we should do a little like everyone get their drums ready to get. Maybe not Lynn. Lynn's pregnant and
Yes,
needs to relax and chill.
Yeah.
Jamin Jesse says left foot is sore from last week's ostinato ebook. That's all your fault.
Ah, okay.
And weather is awful here in East Tennessee, but otherwise all smiles. Well, we've had thunderstorm warnings. And there's been no thunderstorms. And
point?
honestly, I've been disappointed because I love a good thunderstorm. My happy place is like sat at my computer playing games with Goob, the cat,
Yeah,
on a little blanket
Sweet
on my
baby
desk, and I'm
angel.
playing games, and it's like raining, like cats and dogs, monsoon rain outside.
Well, we had some like monsoon rain. What was it, yesterday?
Yeah,
Day
a few days
before?
ago, we had
But
lots
Mark
of-
hates rain. No, he hates thunder and lightning. Actually,
No, I love it. Is he a dog?
Honestly, sometimes I'm just like, really?
Oh, I love it. No, I find it so
Why?
relaxing. There's nothing. Ryan always laughs at me for using this word because he thinks it's pretentious. But I love the smell of petrichor, which is the smell of earth after rain. Such a good smell. It's like a very specific smell of when it's just rained and it's stopped and it's starting to dry up.
You're like
and
the
all
kind
of the
of
scent goes
person
into the air.
Who uses the word sonder unironically?
Yeah.
I can't even remember what that
I'm a
means.
lyricist. That's what it is.
She's an artist.
I'm trying to get back into reading because I used to read all the time as a kid, and then I read The Hobbit, and it completely killed my love of reading.
Honestly,
because of how unreadable that book is.
I get
Sorry
it.
if that's
Yeah.
controversial, but
all
I
I
hated
remember
it.
is being like 10 years old, and because my mum was like, I was like 10 when I read The Hobbit.
Such a
'Cause
chore.
of course she did. And then I got to the page where they list out all the names of the hobbits, and I remember reading this
It
chapter.
just takes so
like,
long for anything to happen.
so
Like, if you
times.
actually look at the timeline of The Hobbit, it has no business being
No.
as long as it is, or as detailed as it is, when actually so little occurs.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that might be controversial, sorry. people.
Lizard King Fast, interesting name. Do you drum on your car steering wheel? Actually, I don't really. I'm not really much.
Are you
of
not a tapper?
No,
Oh.
people have always said I'm a bit weird for that.
Are
because
you
I
an
just
air
don't-
drummer? Ryan's an air
No,
drummer.
No, I'm too busy scream singing usually.
Yeah, this is the
Yeah.
thing, is that you're a weird drummer because you're more of a vocalist. As in, you love
Petite.
vocals and you're really into. You're like me, where you really appreciate good vocalists.
Singing,
Yeah.
singist.
So wait, no, it was. No, I'm getting mixed up because everyone's green. I'm getting mixed up with who
We
I'm
just
talking
have
about.
so many members.
So many YouTube members. Oh. If you do want to become one of our favourites
Which you
and have a
can.
green name in our chat,
Yes.
you can join the YouTube membership for a bunch of perks, and also we like to hang out.
You
and
also
talk to
become
a bunch.
one of our favourite people, which I
do.
mean, who wouldn't?
Exactly.
Quite frankly.
There is favouritism here, and we're not ashamed of it.
No, not
Dawn
really.
says, working in Irving, Texas, in a microbiology lab at a vitamin and drink mixed packaging company.
What?
You're doing more to contribute to society than we are, is
And-
basically what you're doing.
But you're doing that while also watching this live
I
stream.
love that.
What?
That's sick.
That's really cool.
That's very clever and cool of you. Well
Whoa.
done. Max says, Max Darren Steele is back in the chat. Is that your full name?
Is it?
Max Smith said that he wasn't their real
Oh!
name. Is that your true name? Have you just gifted us your true
Oh,
name?
the full government name, right?
Thank you so much. Right, what's your social security
Yeah.
number? Not that we can do anything with that.
Not really. No.
To
to the
the says,
person
who plays the guitar? Who doesn't play the bloody guitar in this household?
play a little bit.
Everyone's congratulating Lynn on her pregnancy. 7 months and still giggling for now. Oh, still gigging for now. I was like, giggling. I was like, good, I'm glad you're still laughing.
Yeah.
Still gigging for now. Oh, yes. I was actually going to name baby number 2 Emma or Claire, but we lost her. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. I mean, you have another opportunity now. I'm
To
just
call your
saying.
baby Emma,
I think you should.
unless it's a
personally.
boy, in which case
Then you
it's
will be our ultimate
Emma.
You will be our ultimate favourite if you do that.
Yeah. Oh my God! Can you
Um,
imagine perks for life?
Yeah, literally. You just get permanent membership
Yeah.
forever on all of our services.
To everyone on TikTok who's been asking, how do we see the YouTube live? Just go to Love to Learn Drums on YouTube, and we're live right now.
We should be live right now on
But
there.
I'm not telling you to leave TikTok. I would never do
Because the
such a
TikTok
thing.
algorithm would be
Never
very
would
sad.
I ever do that. No,
And
in
we would
fact,
never
stay
do
on
anything
TikTok.
to anger
Don't
the
even
beast.
dare move off TikTok, unless of course you want to watch it on YouTube, in which case it's up to you. You can do what you like.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Lynn, on your pregnancy. I'm surprised that you're still gigging. I'm assuming you're being very safe and careful, but obviously just take care of yourself. And if you feel
Yeah.
any funny feelings that you don't think you should be feeling, you prioritise your health first.
in all
Gigs aren't as
fairness,
important as your health.
I knew a singer who was still gigging like 8 months.
Oh my
in,
gosh!
like-
Do you remember the gig that we did with
Oh yeah.
what were they called? It was called Giant something. Oh my gosh.
Oh, something like
Giant. No, it wasn't Giant Walker. I can't remember.
she was
We
very
gigged
pregnant.
with. We did some gigs with this really, really lovely band, and the vocalist was from Australia, and she was like about to pop.
Literally.
9 months, due any day
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
And like she did
Yeah.
the gigs, and then she flew home to Australia. I think to like have
I
this
think
baby.
also she was like, I hope I'm not sick.
She had
or
the
pass
most
out.
insane like powerhouse vocals, and she's like, yeah, like properly Mariah Careying it. 9 months
Oh, yeah, 'cause she
pregnant.
was-
I was like,
The
absolutely.
thing that she
the
was struggling
respect.
with was because she was getting out of breath because obviously the weight of the baby on your
Yeah.
diaphragm.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
What a women are
Honestly.
insane
Unit.
What creatures
Yeah.
we are! We are fantastic. Right, back to the chat. Sorry,
Yeah,
everyone.
back to drums.
Louis says, "Hi, can you recommend me an electric drum for a beginner who wants to be serious on drumming?" Serious.
Never fun, never light-hearted, only serious drumming. There's
There's a few
God,
brands
there's
that
a
do
lot.
a good. I guess by serious you mean you don't want to just start with like whatever's cheap and cheerful. You want to start with something that's going to set you off,
Yes.
like in the right. Yeah.
I'd say I'm very biased because of the experiences I've had through my life, but
it's pretty much only been Roland F Note, which is technically all designed by the same people.
Technically, kind of. But in terms of, just make sure, if you're really serious about doing it, get yourself a drum kit that actually has mechanical bass drum, which most of them do, unless you're like the cheapest of the cheap. And if you can afford to get a proper mechanical hi-hat as well, happy days. Not just one of those like on-off jobbies. And sorry, we just got to
get our
yeah, I'd say if you want to, you can look into the second-hand market as well if you're a bit more kind of au fait with that and you aren't afraid of going into that whole realm. But if you just want something new out the box, just go on to just the retailers that we all know and love, relevant to your country. And also watch reviews on YouTube because they've done much more in-depth stuff than I can do for you right now. So... And I know there's an Elise's kit that I haven't tried any of them, so I can't really say anything. But I've heard from students who have them.
There's some higher up ones that are apparently really quite good.
But I think I'd still rather go for the same price range, but Roland, even if you get less features. That's what I'd probably do if I was doing it now.
Joji says, crazy day at work, just popping in to say hi. I appreciate that everyone's prioritising going into our live stream over doing your jobs.
Yeah.
Love that.
Amazing. Priority.
Tear down capitalism. Yep. Love to learn drums will be the new world order.
Yeah.
Everyone will play drums. Jessie says, I fell asleep constantly trying to get through Tolkien. Yeah, so I was trying to be like, okay, I'm going to read all the Love to Learn drums.
Lord of the Rings!
All of the Lord of the Rings books, because I had a best friend when I was younger who loved, like, her personality was how much she loved Lord of the Rings. So I was like, right, someone I love dearly loves this, so I need to give this a go so I can connect on this, right? Yep. And I was like, let me start with The Hobbit. Bless, I was going to try and read the Silmarillion as well. I read The Hobbit. It was such a chore. I had to force myself to do it chapter by chapter a night. And then eventually I was like, I finished it begrudgingly. And then I was like,
I wonder
if my love of reading died.
I wonder if you would have got better with Lord of the Rings.
Maybe.
Or not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I was properly one of those kids with a torch under the duvet kind of kid, right? I really was. I have so many books at home, but I've been trying to buy more books and like get back into it, but I just haven't got the attention span anymore.
Is before we all got into social media.
I know. I actually I tried to read a book last night and I was like, oh my god, I'm so cooked. I need to train this muscle again. Yeah. It's so bad. Vanessa is from Montana. Hello, Vanessa. Max said, I would be a member, but I have 9p in my bank right now.
Well, you know what?
That's why we need YouTube members. There's 9p to split between a team of
9.
5. Yeah, 9, basically. Yeah. Carl says, I bought a drum set yesterday to learn so I can jam with my son, who's learning to play the bass guitar for the School of Rock. Just found your page 5 minutes ago. Oh my gosh,
yes.
Your timing is fantastic.
You have found the right place, my dude.
We have a lot of people who inquire, because I was talking about this last week, we have a lot of people who inquire on behalf of their kids, which I think is so cute. I love that they're like, I will learn this so that I can connect with my child. I think that's so sweet.
Yes.
Where are we? Everyone's welcoming each other. This is so cute. I love in the little community. There's going to be a time where we can just have a break and everyone can just chat together.
Yeah.
My true name has been revealed, Max says. Did I miss a live? We did a live last Friday? Thursday. I can't keep up. We've been a little bit all over the place because we're booked and busy. We're going to download next weekend.
Oh yeah,
I know, it's crept up on us. That's if the accreditation comes through, because it still hasn't come through.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have to say, I will say this on record. Download Festival, not that organised, but yeah.
Oh, she's out here spilling the tea.
I am, but it should be good. We might be able to interview the drummer from Korn, which will be insame. So
this is news to me.
That would be very
That's
cool.
the first I've heard of this. Also,
we don't have confirmation of anyone specifically yet, apart from Static Dress, because we have a personal connection to the drummer. But I basically just put in a request for a bunch of bands and been like, whoever you can get, we will speak to. So look forward to that.
James should be there, shouldn't he? Because
yes.
He won a competition.
He will be. He already had tickets, but he got the tickets for some friends.
I love that.
And Mark Townsend says, "Okay, found you." It's very ominous, Mark, I have to say.
Cool.
Lynn says, "Baby number one is a girl as well, but her name has been locked for a while now. But she's already very active. Future drama here. Yes,
Another
it's meant to be." For the next gigs, I'll share with the backup drummer so I don't have to play the whole 2.5 hour show. Oh my god, yes! Definitely share that.
What gig is this?
I'm glad that this is like when we supported Brave Rival and we were like, oh, you're still going. This is really good, but I didn't expect this to continue for this long.
No.
Went on for so I was like, and their audience is like a much older audience, and they had a whole group of pensioners up on their feet clapping for like 2-3 hours straight. I was really
Untapped
impressed.
market, you know.
Mr. Rainbows Loves Coffee says, hello. Gannis Jam says, Emma, have you ever tried to play Pneuma by Tool? No. Emma is not really a prog person, and Tool is quite... Yeah. Jessie says, I would say for a beginner kit for serious stuff, make sure you can replace the stock sounds with your own sounds like BFD or Slate. That is a great suggestion, actually.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
sometimes the stock sounds are actually quite good.
Honestly, it depends what you want to do with it, because if you're just recording and you want to be able to tweak stuff after the fact, yes, you want to get something like Stephen Slate or whatever, so that you can record MIDI and tweak it afterwards, and it's easier to produce and all that stuff and level. But when I'm just sat there listening with headphones, I remember distinctly I wouldn't use Stephen Slate, because the difference between even the TD30 and the dynamic sensitivity is actually much better. I found.
There you go. Jessie says, problem with my low-end Roland kit is that it's just the stock kits and can't be changed.
Interesting.
The thing is, if you play into your DAW and record the MIDI, you can then overlay whatever samples you want. So if you are doing stuff to record...
Well, the thing is, if you're going through something like Stephen Slate, you can then not have your headphones coming out the drum kit.
You could have it coming out of the DAW. Exactly. You can change the samples that way. So there is a way around it.
So there might be a bit of a...
it might take a bit of fiddling. But
yeah,
it
there
can
may
be
be a
done.
little bit of latency, but you should be able to get rid of it.
Oh my gosh.
What?
Mr. Rainbows Loves Coffee's just donated donation. $50. Oh my god. Whoa! Thank you so much. That's insane. To all the new drummers out there, here's a little hint for you. Remember what? Number one, trying to find a group you can play with who's a little bit better than you are, who has an open mind. Don't try to be a rock star, just try to be the best drummer you can be. Words to live by. Oh my god.
Look at that. Words of wisdom and money.
Thank you so much. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Oh, okay, I don't know how to get off this now. There we go.
Look at that.
That's so kind. Thank you so much. That's amazing.
That means we can eat.
Louis says, thanks for the response. I understand this is not sponsored, but really appreciate your tips. Keep doing this. I love your channel. That's okay. We wish we were sponsored.
Honestly, if you know anyone,
nice. That'd be lovely.
Yeah.
Justin says, what do you call a musician without a girlfriend? Homeless. It's funny because it's true. It's funny because it's true for both of us. Lynn says, I mean, Lord of the Rings is okay-ish, still a bit boring. Silmarillion, I couldn't. Too many names, okay. The thing is, the Silmarillion is for people who live and breathe Lord of the Rings and want more content, right? Yeah. So it's for a different audience.
My mum, I'm determined that she is built different, because she just can deal with books like that, and I cannot.
This is the thing, is that I don't have a problem with complicated language. I just find that the way that it's written, ultimately, it's designed to be a bedtime story that you read to children, right? So the point is the world building. That's the purpose behind those books, is that the story is great, but it's actually more about building this amazing, fantastical world to read to your children. If you're just reading it on your own, well, yeah, because that's how he wrote it. He read out the stories to his children and he wrote it all down.
Mad.
So that's why there's so much world building, because it's just him being like, the trees twinkle and this and da-da-da-da.
My man is vamping.
Yeah,
just to get his kids to fall asleep.
Yeah. Andy Pipkin says, The Hobbit is the best. I still love you, Ilona. I'd risk it all for you. Thank you so much. Finally getting some appreciation. Osama says, Ilona looks great today. Guys!
You do look great. That's what I said to her earlier. The drip is on point.
I got a new shirt.
Show them the sandals.
No, we don't do feet for free on this channel. I've got little
I mean, we did get donated
mesh
like
top
50 quid.
today.
Yeah. I'm not even.
It's also got thumb holes.
Oh, yes.
I love thumb holes.
That's amazing.
I love thumb holes in clothing. More clothing needs thumb
Ilona
holes.
literally walked in to my flat.
Oh my god, let me show you.
If you want this sweet, sweet content, you're going to have to come over to YouTube and TikTok because
This is
I'm gonna
the
show it on
image
here.
that I walked into.
I've seen this.
Let me see if anyone can do it.
I did 2 edits and then got very tired and went to sleep.
I just was like, are you okay?
It's like,
She was
yeah.
like, yeah.
Needed a nap.
Oh my god.
So that's the difference between the amount of effort that goes into.
I put in this effort specifically to get comments like that.
Whereas
I'm
I'd
so
go-
genuinely, it's because when I first started, when we did the series where Emma taught me how to play drums, I was so self-conscious of the fact that Emma is very loved on this channel, right? She's got a lot of fans. And I am another woman entering her space. I was very petrified that everyone would be like, who the fuck is this? Go away. We don't want you. We want Emma. Also, we get a lot of comments of people being like, I love that you have no tattoos and piercings. I love that you haven't desecrated your body in this way. And then I was like, this is awkward. So I was like, this is not my audience. I need to prepare.
I mean, also, I do technically. I have
and I need to put effort in.
piercings. I've got.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know if it counts the same.
No, it's not.
The comparison between me and you, a week into one of my old waitressing jobs, a 40-year-old man summoned me to his table just to ask me why I'd put metal in my face and whether I was trying to attract my dream man, and I would not succeed. And I was like, I have so many qualms.
There's so much to unpack here.
So many qualms
don't
what you
deserve
just
it.
said. I don't actually even know where to start. I was like, it's never caused me any problems before.
Stop the press.
What's going on?
Hang on.
The press has been stopped. Why is the press being stopped?
Chris you're far away. GCFC. Well, that's me done. All caps. With Red Bull. Just shit myself in Asda.
Did we?
I feel like this is done for clout, to be honest.
I'm lost.
But-
Okay.
That is the single comment I'm going to respond to on TikTok, and we're back to
We're going back to the YouTube ones. Jesse, on the clock, promised this isn't paid. We don't pay this man.
No.
We should probably at this point. Welcome to all the new people. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more. Hit the bell so you don't miss these lives too. And if you can afford it, join the channel membership to keep this going. Jesse, we appreciate and love everything that we
Much
that you do.
appreciated. Mutually appreciated.
Everything else was taken says, I'm having a hard time getting weight to my kick. Even if I tune it low, it still sounds thin. Please help. I'm assuming you mean an acoustic.
Do you mean it doesn't... As in you can't get enough power into the kick, or
Just the sound of it. The general timbre of the hit.
Have you put like dampening?
Yes, I was
in
going to
the
ask, is there any
bass drum?
dampening? Do you have a hole cut in or anything like
The
that?
other thing you can do is if you change the batter head, so that's the one that gets the beater on it. Just make sure that if you want to have a more like, what's the word? Not full, but like thuddy sound, you can get different heads. So some of them have like a ring around them and other stuff. Look into it. There will be YouTube videos aplenty about it. But yeah, that should, unless you've got a pedal where it's just like the spring is just too loose, so you won't get any oomph through it, essentially.
Yeah, it might be worth looking at the pedal because I had a lot of trouble with pedals and it doesn't make a big impact. Justin says, hey Emma, I'm thinking of getting a Tama Iron Cobra 600. Have you ever tried one? What's your acoustic kit?
Mine is a Tamastar Classic. I love it very much.
I've definitely asked you that question a million times and I forget every time.
It took me ages to
The
remember what I
answer.
had. 600?
Vanessa asks...
Oh, yeah. I think I've tried Iron Cobras over the span of when I've been playing drums, but I've never had one long term. No.
Vanessa
good.
Martin
They
says,
work.
I was wondering if you still have your 28-day course. Yes, we do. We just did, so we have been opening up our coaching calls, because if you do, along with the free coaching calls where you can just get advice on anything that you're struggling with. If you are interested in lessons, you can ask the teacher that you have the call with about lessons, and they can explain to you the stuff.
Yeah.
It's also another way that we don't just accept anyone into the course. You kind of have to have a discussion to find out if it's actually right for you, because we don't want you spending the money if it's not really suitable for you. We've transitioned from having the coaching calls open all the time to just select dates, because the demand was quite high and it was like really scattered all over the place. So we're just concentrating them into like a weekend a month is kind of what we're going to be probably doing. We've just signed up a whole bunch of people and a whole bunch of students, so we're just taking care of everyone because we're very hands-on and very personalised with the courses and the lessons that we do. So focusing on those people, but if you sign up to our mailing list, you will get a notification when the coaching calls open again. And if you're interested in the 28-day course, book yourself in for a coaching call and you can find out if that's what's right for you. The link will be down below. For June, we've got 12 people doing the course.
Wow.
So we don't have like tons and tons of people. It's
that's
just
the whole point.
It's just like a handful of people, because it's obviously they get a lot of love and attention.
Yes.
Papa Chango says, "Hello, drummers." Hello. Everyone's saying thank you. We're super behind as usual. Everyone's saying thank you to Mr. Rainbow Loves Coffee. And it is great advice. What he says is don't try and be a rock star. Just try and be the best you can be. Oh, just pushing it forward to the best community on YouTube. You're a babe and we love you very much.
Thank you.
We should start. Okay. As much as I love my whiteboard, we should start a little whiteboard in the background where we put like the members' names on. I think that would be super cute.
That would be quite cute.
We should do that. I think that'd be cute.
That would be cute.
Just to have a little celebration so that you are also involved. Osama says Roland TD17KVX2 or Roland VAD307 E-drum or F Note 3B. There's a lot of letters. There's too many. Right. Drum companies,
product designers, what are you doing?
Can you start naming your drum kits, not just your brand name,
them?
and then a keyboard smash?
Can we name them?
Can we name them something memorable, please?
Like cars, right?
Temastar Classic. Done. Easy.
Beautiful.
Sounds great.
Amazing.
EAD T765 whatever.
KXV2.
I can't remember that. That's not marketing. Come on. What is this?
Get on it.
Right. Which one should I buy? Go to a drum shop and try them all out.
Amen. If they have them all, because I think it might be
your
hard to
tastes
find
and your
an F-note.
preferences and what you like are going to be different to what Emma likes.
I will say, however, that the F Note 3B, I think that was the one I played at NAMM this year.
Oh, okay.
And that was pretty damn good.
It's pretty good.
It was pretty good.
We are a little bit biased because they have gifted us drum kits.
True. It's true. But I'm not gonna tell people to go and
exactly
do something that isn't
if it's not
good.
what's right for you.
I can't be bought like that. No,
it can't be bought. Lynn says at Justin, right, I got one of my practice kit, to be honest, a very nice pedal.
This is talking about
price.
the Iron Cobra.
There
They
you
are
go.
pretty good. I'm trying to remember when I've used one. I remember them being good. I don't have strong opinions, unfortunately. Oh my god, it's Emily on TikTok, my friend Emily. Hello. She was at me and Catherine's joint birthday party.
Oh yes, I remember. Hello. Lowell says, thanks for the advice last week, 8-year-old son Ludwig. Unfortunately, a work call started right as you replied to my question. Oh no, you can repeat the question again and we'll answer it again here.
Hopefully, unless you were able to watch the live back.
Yes, you can watch it back, to be fair. The drums were my wife's idea. I thought she was crazy for even suggesting it. I've been proven wrong. All 4 of my kids, 13 to 5, are now trying to learn the drums or just goofing around. That's so cute. You're going to have such a musical family. See, you're messing this up, right? You've got 4 kids. That's a band, love.
I was going to say.
You need to get them on individual instruments.
What are you doing? What are you doing? Also, do you ever get a moment's peace?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, time to invest in some good earplugs.
Yeah.
Everything else was taken says, I tried blankets, pillows and kick ports. It still sounds very weak.
Weak. Maybe try a different kick head. Like a kick beater, sorry. Because if you have like a plastic head, it will have more like attack to it. So maybe something like that. It depends what sound you're going for, because if you're expecting like a triggered metal kick sound out of an acoustic drum kit, it's unlikely you're going to get it without some form of processing. So if that's something you've been after, you might want to be triggering a bass drum sound. Maybe that might be what's going on, unless it's just straight up your pedal.
Jessie has come up with the best t-shirt design idea. A death metal album cover, but of you sleeping on the sofa. That's hilarious. It's unironically so funny. I actually love that
I
idea.
would wear the hell out of that.
That's
Honestly,
such an amazing concept.
yeah.
I'm,
Are we
so blown
talking
away.
like
it's cooked and it's got like Love to Learn drums, but in like death metal, like logo font.
The font that is literally
Illegible, yeah. That's so funny. I actually love that idea so much.
Let's do it. Make it happen.
God,
Bex!
so I think we need to hire you, Jessie. You've got great ideas.
We need an ideas. We need another ideas person.
Lynn says, everything else was taken. I kind of have the same issue with my kick drum, Camastar Classic 22-inch walnut birch. I didn't change the stock batter head though, so I will give the Evans EM-AD2 a try.
See what happens.
Yeah.
Over on TikTok, those of you who want to join us over here on YouTube, you can just go to Love to Learn Drums. I know I'm called Sounds Like Emma on TikTok, and I'm Love to Learn Drums over here. I know it's very confusing. And also, I'm definitely not telling you to go over to YouTube.
To another platform, because that would be terrible. We would
I would never do that. However, if you want your questions answered, yes, you might want to. But you don't have to. But you might want to.
Ganasyam says nylon tip or wooden tip.
Wooden tip.
Yeah, you answered this last week.
Because
they just flick off eventually, don't they?
Yeah, I've only had experiences where the nylon tips just fly off. Granted, they were probably unbelievably cheap, because I think that only happened in like primary school, so I might be biased.
Also, if it matters to you, I feel like having a wooden stick with just a bit of plastic on the end that's just going to end up being a microplastic in landfill feels really unnecessary. Just get wooden sticks.
We love an environmental
I do. You know what I mean? Shirley says, I have just started the 28-day course, 1 week in and loving it. Yes, Shirley, I recognise your name. Let everyone know how you're getting on. You've got Brett, I believe, and he is my favourite teacher. Don't tell the other teachers. I love him. He's great. He's just
say that.
Partly from an admin perspective, he has the most availability, and it makes my life a lot easier. But yes, tell everyone how you're getting on. What's your goal? What are you learning?
Yeah, actually,
because the thing is, I do all the admin, but I don't actually like get involved in any of the actual drum side of things. So I know everyone by name. And I know how to organise everyone and when they're having their lessons. No idea what they're working on. No idea where they're at. No idea what they look like. None of that.
But we're here for you.
So I'd love to know what you're working on, what your goal is. Nicholas Garza says, without the random characters, how would you know it's electric? Nitrosis says,
that's good.
Okay, how do I get my right hand and right foot to act separately? Whenever I try to do a more intricate kick pattern, my hi-hat just seems to follow along. You are in luck, because the ebook for this week, the free ebook for this week, there'll be a link in the description, is on coordination. It's coordination for drummies. Yes, it's a rip-off for drummies.
Okay, yeah.
Intro to the Matrix. And it was written by our founder, Chris. And it's honestly, I can't let him write books, because he writes books that have so much in. I'm like,
again.
You've got to stop giving away all the goods for free. This is like a 50 million page ebook. Stop. It's like, I will do a reasonably, it's free, so we'll make it like a reasonable size.
And also,
you don't want it overwhelming,
so
because it's a weekly thing. And then he's like, I will give them all the information,
everything,
all of it, every single.
Coordination.
All of it.
Done.
So yes, if you need help with coordination, if you go into the description, get a free ebook. If you sign up to our mailing list, you get a free ebook every week on a different drumming topic. And this week's is specifically on coordination.
So you're in luck.
So good timing. Osama says, if Ilona plays at my wedding, I will leave my wife and go take photos with Ilona. Don't do that! Your wife would be very sad. Also, I actually just have a rule against playing people's weddings now, because it's caused too much drama in my life.
Oh my god.
I think I want to attend it, because obviously it's friends and family, and I'm like, I want to attend your wedding, not work it. I want to enjoy the wedding.
Doesn't Chris want us to play like the whole?
I will be hiding in the bathroom for that.
I was gonna say everyone's gonna be jamming.
I want to relax.
And I'm like,
I don't want to have to like crash learn a bunch of crash course learn a bunch of Ed Sheeran ahead of your wedding.
No.
Jen Palm says, I'm 58 and I just started playing. Do you think I'm too old to learn?
No. No.
We have students who are literally in their 70s. You are never too old to learn. No. We honestly, the majority of our students are we don't really have that many young students. We welcome younger students, but we most people who we teach are like 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s.
Honestly,
and that's a massive range, but you know what I mean. Like it's not the age range
spectrum
that you would think. So it's actually a really big spectrum. So yes, you're not too old to learn. And if you need some support, we aren't open for coaching calls at the moment, but you can join the waiting list, and the link is in the description. It's a 30-minute call with a drum expert who will tell you what you need to do and set you on the right path. And if you are on the waiting list, you get emailed before everyone else to let you know. So you get first dibs to book, basically. Nitrosa says they're an absolute beginner. I don't know if they're asking for advice. Oh, right, okay. Right hand and... Yeah.
Coordination
the should be... It should be okay for an absolute beginner, but it might be a little bit...
You want to probably do your the eighth note grooves ebook. If you want access to all the ebooks, then you can just join the membership. But it might come round again. I'm not sure when, though.
Yeah. Justin says, "Hey Emma, what was the catalyst that made you decide to do drums? What was the moment? I think you were just 8 and liked hitting things. I don't really know if there was
the catalyst was my grandparents getting me a toy drum kit. Yeah. I think I just didn't stop hitting it. It just didn't, like, past that point. There's never really been a moment where it's not been just what I do. So I can't imagine doing anything else, and I can't remember a time where I was really thinking about doing anything that wasn't
ironically, you spend
music.
more time video editing.
Ain't that the truth? The gospel.
For someone who's a professional drummer, 80% of your time is video editing.
Yeah, well, it's just she's the creator.
She's a content creator.
And also soon to be DJ.
Jessie says, yes, you read my mind. Let's get this merch line going. Goob and Metal Emma. Absolutely. I mean, if you are interested in some merch, we do have some merch available. There's some merch of Emma's logo on hoodies and t-shirts. And then also we very recently added some... Remind me what it is. What is it? What does it say? It's like...
Slow it
down. Count out loud, break it down. And there's two versions. Yeah. There's a simple text version, and then there's a version that our illustrator Bex designed of little chibi versions of Emma, like this one. I
still think having more Mimi ones. I would love a good t-shirt.
That'd be good. So I mean, the link for that I think is down below if you are interested. Vanessa says, I'm trying to work on my bass pedal and right hand. I'm an old rocker, was in top 40 band in the 80s. Very nice, congratulations. But was an
Tell us what band. Tell us the band.
But was an over the road truck driver for 20 years, coming back to drums.
What?
I mean, it's fucking. You've got to get a reliable income at some point.
I would read that biography.
Yeah,
any day.
That's one hell of a life you've lived. 100%. Come to us. We will help you. Let's make this happen. Lowell says, yes, I caught the recording afterwards. With 4 kids, it's always loud, even without instruments. Noise cancelling headphones are amazing.
You know what? Yeah.
Fair enough. You might as well...
Yeah, double down.
The noise they're making might as well be melodic and enjoyable to listen to, rather than just generic screaming.
Ironically, drums aren't melodic.
Yeah, but if you have a whole band...
Yeah, if you had them. So you do have a band on your hands.
Well, 4 kids.
Why else would you have 4 kids?
Exactly, that's the reason to have 4
Apart
kids.
Apart from to monetize
there might be some tax benefits potentially,
maybe.
But otherwise,
maybe
because you love them.
Mine is having just the joy of having children.
No, that's
none of that. Minor detail.
The joy of raising a family.
Yeah.
No. Everything else was taken says, I found the head you were talking about with the dampening ring around it. I'm going to try that, thank you.
Give it a go. See how you find it.
And then come back next week and let us know how you got on.
Yeah.
Justin says, how about wooden or nylon tips on electronic drums?
Oh, okay. So this is a bit more of a I wouldn't say discuss topic, but my general rule with electric kits is you probably want to be using a lighter stick. So if you use 5As, you might want to use 7As, for example. Maybe just in terms of the longevity of the drum kit and the heads and stuff. However, I've used 5As for however long on my kits and they're still fine. It just depends how hard you hit the kit. I've heard that nylon tips can be better. That is the really long route to that answer. Nylon tips can be better for the health of your drum heads on electronic kits, but I don't know for sure. So consult Google on that one.
Jessie says, you had me at microplastics, lol. Switching to wood ASAP now. Call me Greta Thunberg. What can I say?
Call me Greta.
Call me Greta. She's doing a lot more for the world than I am. But yeah. Vanessa says, wonderful, thank you about the calls. That's okay. Just shoot us an email if you want some more information. I'll put the email in the chat. info@alpinehq.com. Can I pin this message? Probably. Pin. There we go.
What'd you look at?
If you send us an email, I will reply to it and I will give you information. And you know what? Because I like you, I'll just send you the booking calendar anyway, even though we're not open. Because I have the power to do that. Right. Lynn says, hey Emma, yesterday YouTube Short suggested to me your Rosanna/Purdy/Bonham shuffle short, and you were using rods. How did you end up on the dark side? Emma!
Oh, that is really old, that video. So
everyone judge Emma. Oh. I need you all to judge Emma in the chat right now.
I'm judging myself as well, but the reason I did that was because...
Shame. Everyone put shame in the chat.
Indeed. You know what? I'll accept it.
Shame.
Full on. So the only reason I did that, because it was really early on to when I was recording videos, and I didn't have any lav mics or anything.
Excuses!
So I had to play it really quietly so I could actually talk and play at the same time. I didn't like it, obviously, but needs must. Also, there's another version of the Rosanna tutorial video that was done at Dramazon, and I really want to edit it because it's really good.
There we go.
I love the Dramazon ones. They look so good.
They look so good.
It's so much
I'm really
easier
sad
to
the Dramazon's closed down. They were so good. Tale, our favourite queen,
our gigging drummer queen.
Oh yes, absolutely.
She sent me videos of the gig the other day.
How did it go?
Very good.
Tell us how it went.
It's so chill at the back. It was great.
How does it feel to see a student go that far after you've been teaching it? It must be so fulfilling.
I mean, it had very little to do with me.
You were like, I remember that's what happened with my guitar teacher when I was like 14. He got me to sing at his wedding, bless. And obviously he taught me how to play guitar. I didn't carry on, I'm very lazy. But with the singing, he didn't teach me obviously anything to do with singing, but he always used to joke, like telling everyone, yes, I taught her everything she knows.
Absolutely.
It's all me.
Yeah. No natural talent in this one.
No, all of me. Tali says, I try to wrap my head around metric modulation stuff. I understand it in theory, but playing it feels almost impossible. Why?
Oh,
yeah, I couldn't understand that.
Right. Metric modulation. What's the easy one?
Is there one? Is there an easy one?
There is one, and I can't remember what it is. Basically, try and find the shortest, simplest one you can, and just stick with it. Stick on a metronome and cry for however long it takes until it kind of clicks in your head. Counting out loud will be your friend.
Yeah.
Don't stop counting, even though it'll feel real jank. That's the big one on that one. I mean, that's the general advice with all drumming, but especially with metric modulation. Ugh.
Shirley says, I don't have Brett, I have Isaac. Isaac is also wonderful. I like Isaac very much. He is one of those where I don't hear from him very much, which is a good thing. He has his students, and they're good, and they crack on. Everyone is happy. The students are always happy. Also, because Isaac has very limited availability, the students that he does have are all like fighting tooth and nail for his availability. So you're very lucky because you've swung in there. Also, we've got a new... Baran is a lion, has become a drum devotee. Thank you so much. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Thank you so much for joining our YouTube membership. It helps us more than you know.
Well, you might know at this point.
Well, you might know.
Ilona tells you everything.
There's no filter here.
She ain't got none.
No, I've got none. Yes. Oh my god, another one! Nicholas! Woo! Yeah!
Jesus, I nearly threw myself. I fell over.
Thank you so much, Nicholas. Oh, we really appreciate it. Thank you. It really helps us because the ad revenue... I've been looking into this. I've been trying to Oh, I've just flung that at you.
Oh,
I've been trying to research, and my research consists of going on the partnered YouTube on Reddit. So it's not in-depth research. But I just, for the amount of subscribers that we have, we make no money in terms of ad revenue, and I feel like we should do more proportionally.
I think
so. The YouTube membership helps us so much because it costs a lot of money to run our channel and to do everything that we do. So literally every little helps so much. Genuinely.
I think it's because most of our content is shorts.
Also, a lot of our content is very niche.
It is
just for
niche.
drummers. Not any old person can enjoy it.
Well, if you look at things like the Songbook series way back when, that's long form videos. I just haven't got the oats, people.
We have so many ideas for long form, but we just haven't got the. Yeah,
if someone else could go and edit for me, I would have so. You guys would have
I've
so
pinned
many
our email
videos.
in the chat. If you are a video editor,
honestly,
hit us up.
Not just like video editing. We're talking about the funky,
the letters and the sound effects.
The zhuzh. Yes.
Jessie says, this week's ebook looked super scary at first. Yes, this was my concern when Chris sent it to me. I was like, Chris, this is big and this is frightening.
And hang on, let me have a
But
look.
we try and break it down. I mean, the contents, the contents page is enough to be like, oh.
I want to see it.
Yes, it is broken down bite size by bite size. Just take it a page at a time. You don't have to do the whole thing in one go.
Honestly, it's so easy to just kind of get overwhelmed. Oh, God. 42
I'm
pages.
Just showing Emma, I mean, some of those pages are just like draft notes at the back.
Oh,
but...
thank God. Okay. Oh, God.
I know. I was like, Chris, this is too much. It's because it's mostly exercises and they're all separated out into different pages. Right. That's why.
Yeah.
It seems super scary at first, but actually after reading it, it looks very well thought out and useful. Can't wait to try it out later today. It's just take it a page at a time. There is a lot to, even just the introduction page gives you another ebook to look at before you look at this ebook.
Does that mean they can get the Eighth Note Grooves ebook in there?
There's actually another ebook also linked in that ebook.
So whoever was talking about coordination and their like proper beginner, in the introduction of this week's ebook, there is a link to a blue book called Eighth Note Grooves.
To another ebook.
Yes, an ebook within an ebook. Get that, because that is the baby's first version of the things that are covered in that.
Exactly.
ebook.
Also, again, if you are looking for a book on something specific, just send me an email. See, this is the thing, is that you do technically need to pay to be on our website membership, separate to our YouTube membership, to have access to all of our ebooks, courses, lessons,
But just be
workshops.
Nice. See what you
honestly,
get.
if you just send me an email and tell me how great I am, I'll just send it to you for free. I'm
Honestly,
very easy.
Actually, the more over the top you can be, and I'm talking extreme.
I had a student email me
paragraphs.
saying, like, you're amazing, and I sent a screenshot to the group chat being like, guys, yay!
So you might get something free out of it.
I just need an ego boost, that's all. Mads says, hello from Denmark, big hugs. Big hugs to you too. Jen says, nice, thanks. Ganasiam says, Emma, I'm about to take the 8th note drum grade from Trinity. Any advice?
It will be fine.
It'll be fine.
It will be fine. Just make sure you know your styles, really. If someone, an invigilator comes up to you and is like, I'm going to play something on piano now and you have to play along with it, be prepared for that.
Yeah. But also know that whether you have grades or not does not define your ability as a musician. I have never done grades in singing, and I would...
And it shows.
I could... Gagged. Oh my god.
I saw an opportunity and I took it. And I only say that because it's incredibly just not true.
I would confidently say that I am as good as an 8th grade, if not better.
If not better.
Without even knowing what the syllabus of that is, because I've just kind of, by osmosis, learned how to do everything. I remember when I had some lessons to improve my technique to make sure I was singing healthily, my teacher would be like, oh, today we're going to learn how to do this. And I was like, oh, I already do that. I didn't know how to name. I just kind of taught myself how to do it. Oops. So, that's happened a lot. Vanessa says, you are absolutely awesome and a lifeline. Thank you.
Ain't that the goddamn truth? Oh.
Guys. I don't even know that's directed to me. That might be probably directed to you, but... Jessie says, reminder, it's free to like and subscribe, and if you help Emma alone a lot, even better if you join the membership too. Jessie, we're gonna have to hire you at some point. It's gonna start feeling like extortion, and it's just gonna feel like taking advantage if we don't at some point.
We go back down to the bottom. I think we.
No, it comes up here.
Oh, okay.
Let me catch up to the chat. Where are we?
There we go. Yeah.
Merch idea from Nicholas. Flags to hang in the drum den. That's a cool idea. I mean, so the thing is, with merch, because we're trying to make everything free shipping and also worldwide accessible, we actually have to be quite picky about what... There's been loads of ideas of what we want to sell, but there's actually... We're quite limited in what's going to be available across the world. And I wouldn't really hate it if someone ordered something and then I'm like... we can't send this to you.
Yeah,
sorry.
and also it's like...
That's why t-shirts are
the
super
shipping
easy.
is like $40.
It's like $40 so that we can try and keep everything under one price. Because there's nothing worse than when you're buying something and then it's like, oh, but the shipping is like twice the price of the actual item. I've had that before and I'm like, it's so gutting. But I really like that idea, like posters and, with, important exercises and stuff. Thing is, all of our ebooks, because they are ebooks, they are all printable. So if there's anything in those ebooks that you want to use that would be handy to you, most of our ebooks will have the utility section at the back that has like a drum key and all of this different stuff. And you can print them out. And if you want to put them as a poster on your wall, fine, you can go. There's literally a bit in the book that says if you want to print this, go ahead. So,
well, we should probably make getting posters shouldn't be as difficult.
I'll have a look.
I think posters would be good.
Have a look.
We'll look into it.
Baran is a lion says, hey, last time I watched, I learned about the Sounds Like Emma channel, checked it out and loved it. You said in the STEMS tour video that if we were interested in seeing more of it, to let you know. You should do it.
So
Just had the time.
Honestly, yeah, I love looking at stems and kind of pulling them apart. I've just been so busy.
Yeah.
The idea of making more content on top
We're
of the
already
content,
doing, yeah.
Yeah.
Selfishly, my favourites are our gig vlogs because they're hilarious.
I also really love doing them. I was thinking about this yesterday. What was it? I was talking to Mark and we were just like, oh, what other content, we could do?
Yeah.
And I was like, I have no more content in me.
There's
I am
nothing
currently at max capacity. The idea of trying to do literally anything else.
We need to clone you. Can you imagine, I'm fresh on Star Wars because we're recently binging Star Wars. I really loved I think it was the Clone Wars, when they reveal how they've been cloning, spoilers, I guess,
Major
Jango
spoiler.
Fett to be like, they have this whole systematic, like, they're babies and then they're into school and then they train them and then they're just barracks of soldiers. Like, we just need that of Emma so that we can get lots of video edits done.
Well, the thing is, honestly, I think if I wasn't editing, I could just know that I was just
doing
making
video ideas, yeah.
And that would make my life so much easier. Because as soon as you know you have to edit the thing,
you're like, is
the
Vizio a good idea? Who knows?
Yeah, God, who wants to see that?
Speaking
anyway?
of which, have you made a start on the radar? What, you haven't? Your deadline is in like 3 weeks. Just a reminder. We interviewed Jay from Tesseract. We've been trying to. This was last summer. We have not had the editors.
Honestly, I don't know what it is, but I think I've just put it in a little mental box.
I think you're just terrified of
And
it. I think if you just opened it up,
I don't want to look at it.
I bet it's actually just fine.
Honestly,
but you're just like,
it probably is.
I
could make it as difficult.
You could
as I
also
wanted
probably
to.
match what you've done on the barred one over.
It's just the notation side of it. I don't know.
Do I need to come over and be like, do it? Do it.
I'll do it.
Do it.
I'll do it.
Nicholas Garza says, I recently switched from an electric kit to acoustic. I've noticed that with the cymbals, especially low volume zebras, I see little bits of wood starting to collect. Am I doing something wrong?
No, that's completely normal. That's how drums be. They're wooden sticks hitting metal, so you're going to end up with
you're going to have some shavings
everywhere.
all over the place.
If you've ever been to a rehearsal studio,
it'll be all over the floor around the drum
is
kit.
Absolutely everywhere.
Ataronk says, Emma, big fan.
Ataronk,
You're a big fan.
hi, big fan. How's it going?
Big fan. Max says, I have come back, I got bored. What, of work or of us? Max? I'm going to be really upset if you were bored of us.
Stop, someone's going to like that. Someone's going to know.
Jessie says, I actually really like the metric modulation and doing triplets in 4/4 where the accent falls on a different part of each triplet is really nice. I feel like once you've got it down, I bet it's really fun and really satisfying to do, but it's very hard to just to learn it in
Just
the
trying
first
to think
place.
how that works, but okay, yeah.
Lots of people saying, yay, thanks for joining the membership. With that behind in the chat.
Yeah,
again.
we are that. Yeah.
I can edit for you. Baran, email me,
Email
please.
us.
The email is pinned in the chat. I'm not joking. Please send us an email. I can send you we can make this happen.
This is not a request, this is a demand.
This is a demand. We need editors. If you think, serious talk, people in the chat, if you have editing experience and you've seen the videos that we do,
and you genuinely
think, cool, I could edit like that in a heartbeat, no problem at all, please email us. We really need the help. Jesse says I slipped in the chat.
There we go.
Another way to support, there is merch available on the website. Hopefully some fun you do. So we don't even need a chat mod. This is great. I love this.
Jesse is the official chat mod.
Tani says, haha, I think it's also part thanks to you that I can play Claim Your Credits. Claim them!
I claim them.
You're a good teacher.
Yeah.
Well done, you.
Thanks. The internet tells me I am good, therefore I have value.
Jesse says, just have ChatGPT write up a full-length novel about how great Ilona is and you can get a year's supply of ebooks. I'm loving the amount of love for me in the chat today. This is amazing. I've had a very rubbish week, so this
it's
is
been a naff one, yeah.
This is I needed
The
this
boost.
Thank you guys. Oh my god. See, I was worried that no one would want me, in the picture, and actually I'm here to assimilate and take over.
I knew immediately.
It's the Sounds Like Ilona channel now.
I can't remember the first thing. I think it was a Drummers in video was the first thing we did together.
Yeah.
And as soon as we started talking, I was like, oh
dear.
I'm screwed.
Ilona can talk for England.
Yeah. Yes.
I just love the sound of my own voice. What can I say?
A true singer.
Got wheeze ? Yes, I was organising the footage from the podcast that we filmed recently in Berlin, and at the beginning of one of them, you say to Chris, "What's the topic for today's video?" And he's like, "Why are singers the worst band member?" Like really seriously, to see if you'd go along with it, and you're like, "That's not what we agreed." He was like, I thought you could agree with it." That was really funny. Gotweez says, if playing to piano accompaniment, just remember more rim shots.
Always. In fact, play so loud you can't hear any other instruments. That's the rule.
Justin says, hey Emma, do you know where one can find drum notation books of your favourite artists?
If you straight up Google people, there will be some.
There will be some. If you sign up, there'll be something like... There's stuff like Tom Play and things like that, Muse Score. There's lots of websites where you can get notation for songs that you can follow along.
Yeah.
And
I guess Drumeo as well. But in terms of books, I wouldn't know about books.
Though, if you specifically like Michael Jackson, the Beatles, and...
Foo Fighters.
Oh, was it Foo Fighters? We do have an ebook with 3 songs from each of those artists, full transcriptions. And video lessons on how to learn each song, and a course that you can follow. So actually, let me see if I've got that.
I want to do more.
It's called the Drummers Songbook.
But there's just so many videos, people. There's so many.
I will put it in the chat for you, Justin.
I was going to say, maybe I need to do another batch of videos soon, and then I remembered we still have like 100 or so shorts that we just filmed in Berlin.
Videos, yeah.
So many.
Radu B says, hello from Romania.
Hello to you, Romania.
Thank you all for your great lessons.
You are welcome.
Radu, thank you for being home to the best spa in Europe. The first holiday I've been on in years was last autumn with this one to the Therme Bucharest, and it was life-changing. It was so good.
Beautiful.
However, there was... The discrepancy between the rest of the local area and the spa is interesting. We walked to the only local supermarket was in the airport, and we passed a group of men playing poker in the bushes in the dark.
And also all the electronic wires and cabling were just
short-circuiting there.
There and just a mass, just not.
Very interesting country to visit. Yes.
I'm sure that's not all of Romania.
The poker players in the bushes were
quite
a highlight for me. I was like, I love this.
Such a mood.
It was the fact that they didn't even go in the light, in the area where there's just grass where they would have light. They were like, no, we're going to hide under a tree and do this by phone torchlight.
Brenda, I see you. You are so welcome. I only saw your name because it's all caps and I love the name Brenda. Hi, by the way, hi everyone who's on TikTok. How's it going? Sorry.
Definitely don't come over to YouTube if you want your questions answered.
Do not come over to the Love to Learn Drums YouTube. to come and watch us over here, where we can actually answer
wink.
questions, because I can't hear the chat over there.
Tin Fam asks a very good question. Hey howdy to you.
Howdy, partner.
How do you get the most out of online lessons when you're teaching through a video call? I've been working with an online teacher for drums and I feel like it has been stagnant. It might just be the teacher.
Yeah.
Because we teach all of our lessons online.
Yes.
And not for nothing, but we've never had that complaint, just saying. It could just be the teacher. It could be that it might not be necessarily that the lessons are going stagnant because you're on video call. It could just be that your teacher, you've kind of gone stagnant on what topics you're studying. So it might be good to try and change things up and communicate to your teacher that you're feeling that way.
I think sometimes also there's the idea that you have to stick with one teacher forever.
Yes. You don't have to do that. So we have a membership on our website which is different to the YouTube membership. And this gives you access to online workshops, free, all of our ebooks, and we have like 60 now. Online programs, video lessons, drum loops, all of this stuff. And one of the things that we have is basically you get allocated a certain number of lessons every 4 weeks. So you can either have tier 1, which is 2 lessons, or tier 2, which is 4 lessons. And the idea is that you would book them weekly or bi-weekly, but you don't have to book with the same teacher. We have a roster of teachers, so you can try out different people, and some people really like a certain teacher and they stick with them, and then some people have lessons with some person for a while and then they switch. It's good to get different perspectives, and also different teachers will specialise in different areas. So if you go on our website, you'll be able to see a section on Contact Us called Meet the Team, and you can see all the different teachers that we have and what kind of areas they specialise in and what kind of experience they have, and you might find it valuable to have a lesson with this person.
Just to clarify,
yes,
when you were talking about how many lessons people can have, so they can have 1 a week, or is it 2 a week?
No, it's one a week or one every 2 weeks. On the membership.
So, on the membership, okay, cool.
The crash course is
different.
The crash course is different.
Cool.
You have more lessons.
Me finding out about my own goddamn course. Right.
She just does the content. She has no idea what's going on. I know more about this company, I would argue, than anyone.
I taught the crash course, so I don't.
Yeah.
But I haven't taught the membership.
She taught the very first roster. Yeah. Gareth Draper says, I'm a guitarist and watching a video about drums is like watching a video on gardening whilst living in a 25th floor apartment.
Like it.
Sometimes it's just nice to know. You never know. I feel like it's really valuable to have an understanding of other instruments regardless of what kind of musician you are, because it informs your writing and you're performing so much. You're so much more aware of what other people are doing.
Yeah.
You'll be able to communicate and articulate your thoughts to your band members so much easier because you can speak in their language. And you can write with other instruments in mind, and you end up writing just better compositions all around because you're looking at things holistically rather than super... It's always really obvious when a song has been written by someone who primarily only knows one instrument, or mixed by someone who only primarily...
Yeah.
My partner showed me a mix yesterday or the day before, and I was like, is the person who mixed this a guitarist by any chance? And he was like, yes! How did you know? And I'm like, it's the only bloody thing I can hear. So it's honestly, I think it makes you a better, more well-rounded musician. So you never know. Maybe on your 24th floor apartment, you can have a little window box and grow some plants.
The plants are called drums.
The plants are called drums. Jessie says, example of the metric modulation I meant. Yeah. Oh. So I think that sounds cool though. That's like interesting, like where it shifts by the beat. That's cool. Rodman says Emma's kind of cute.
What do you mean, kinda?
You're not wrong. You're just little muggins. Jessie says, any recommendations for songs using a straight 8 around 60 BPM? I may be ready to learn a real song as long as the foot parts are slow enough.
60 is hard.
60
is...
I feel like if it's just a simple...
I'd say go
for some like ballads and stuff.
You can go for things like Yellow by Coldplay.
It's a very popular one for people to go for,
Yeah, I'd probably go for something like around there. I'm just trying to think now.
Yeah.
That's
Justin
probably a good slow one.
says, yeah, I'm particularly looking for something like Guitar Pro software tabs, but it's for drums, so I can play along with the MIDI guitar and bass. Yeah, I think look into stuff like Tom Play and Muse Score and things like that. Melodics. Oh no, because Melodics is more about training.
That was like Guitar Hero for
drums. Have a little look around. There is stuff that does that. Justin says something like Guitar Pro types of drums, but I mute the drums and play along with the rest of the instruments. Yeah. Oh, I'm getting offered nicknames now. Ganasian says, I'm just reading the name. Says, Ilona, you don't have to call me my full name. You can just call me Siam?
Gotta learn a new
Shyam?
one now. Sham.
See, Ganasiam I can just say like it's nothing. Shyam is okay, Shyam. Right, I'll remember now.
My geese.
Tin Fam says, thank you, keep it funky. Yeah.
Oh,
We love to keep it
funky.
here. Lynn says, at Justin, Tom Play and Drumeo allow to play along backing tracks, change tempos with a scrolling drum notation. Although Tom Play is sometimes less accurate, I've found, than Drumeo. Yeah, just have a little look around. We can't speak immediately on... I haven't used them. I don't know about you.
The only one I've used
Have you
is
ever
Drumeo.
actually used Drumeo?
Yeah.
What's it like?
I've used it as a teaching resource. It is
I've
good.
heard it's quite overwhelming.
Yes, that's the only problem.
It's like Netflix for drums, which sounds great in principle,
But
but I think actually is quite paralysing
the thing
when
is,
you open
with
it up.
Netflix, you're not trying to learn something.
Yeah, you're just trying to
Whereas-
passively enjoy
it's very
media.
hard to kind of direct yourself through it as well without any external help. But what it is good for, especially as a teacher, is because it has so many songs on it, it has the notation, so you can just go through it and literally just show people, especially if you have a monitor or something.
Yeah.
Forget about it. It's a bit of a no-brainer, really.
Blink says, I just got my first acoustic kit and I don't know how to tone it well yet. Any tips? Hi from Colombia. I'm assuming you mean
Tuning.
We filmed a tuning tutorial video ages ago, but the person we filmed it with was like, oh, I don't really know if I'm happy with it, so can we not put it out? And we're gutted because we think it was great. And we wish we could put it out, but we will film one at some point. We are planning on doing that again. We just need to be in the right circumstances to do it. But, there will be tutorials online of like basic stuff that you can do to just get a basic sound.
Did we do a podcast?
I think you did. So when we filmed a bunch of podcasts recently, there was an episode that we did on how to make your cheap kit sound better.
So that might help.
And there was lots of little tips and tricks that you can do to just tweak and then overall improve the general tone of your kit. So when that comes out, look out for that because that will be really helpful to you. The Brewski or Brewsky 26. Hey, love your videos, Emma. Do you have a video that shows a transition from molar to singles and back, potentially from sizzle to roll? To singles, I'm assuming they meant single instead of sizzle. To singles to molar. Do you have that?
I discuss I call them gear changes usually when I'm talking about volume. So when you're really low volume, you aren't using molar because you don't need to come up. You're mostly wrists. And then when you come up for an accent or something, that's when you use molar technique, lifting with the wrist. But I don't think I think I've talked about transitioning, but not really
another thing for you to film. Yay! Geo2524 says, I found drum covers on YouTube with drum music that I can't play along with. That's a good idea.
Those are pretty good too because you can turn down the speed as well. Make sure if you're using YouTube for that, you can go into the speed tab and you have the big options, so you're not like 0.25 and all that stuff. But if
you can get really specific.
Go into custom, it will be your friend. You want no lower than 0.85 usually.
Radu says, well, please make sure to return to Romania and I can guarantee you'll find more interesting experiences. People here never cease to amaze me either. Everyone we have spoken to who is from Romania has said the exact same thing. No one's been offended by us being like, it was interesting. They've been like, yeah, I know.
It's insane.
But they've said also visit more places than just Bucharest.
Yes.
I am not that educated, I will admit, on Romania and its geography. We went specifically for the spa.
Yes.
Because we were like, I want to cook in a spa for 3 days. That sounds amazing. And it was amazing, to be fair. It was
fantastic.
But yeah, so recommend. Let us know what places you think we should go. John Searing says, hi all, West Coast USA. Hello. I appreciate that the timings of these live streams are not necessarily ideal for everyone's time zones. We are hoping at some point, maybe when we're a little bit quieter, because we've got quite a lot of festivals and things going on at the moment. Yeah. But I think we would like to try and do like a mega stream day where we kind of do like an ongoing stream, but it's like multiple points in the day. And then we can try and hit a few more time zones. Maybe do that every now and then. Yeah. So that it's worth, you can actually join in live. Gottweez says, I got a drum dial and it changed my life, and I'm not even bad at tuning skins by ear. A drum dial? What's that?
That's the thing you put on each tuning peg, and it's like a little, like a pressure thing. I've forgotten what it actually does. Whether it's a pressure, just a thing you press on the thing to test the tension on the head.
Yeah.
Or whether it does something else. Can't fully remember. I've never used one, so I don't know.
Fair, okay. See, I just have a boyfriend who knows how to play and tune drums very well, so I just use him. The Bruce guy says, thank you, much appreciate what you do. Brooke a day says, thoughts on open-handed drumming? I'm a beginner lefty with a right-hand setup. You get a lot of people in your comments being like, what about us lefties? You've left us out.
Soz, there's only 13% of you anyway. So.
Also, you can probably take what Emma's doing and just flip it, and that is probably going to.
I was talking to actually a left-handed, someone I went to ACM with, and I think he said he's just so used to swapping it that if it were the right way round, it would be a bit.
It would actually be more confusing. Yeah.
The only thing I have with open hi-hat setups is just the crunch that can sometimes happen with your left hand. Because if you're like this, if your hi-hat's here, it just doesn't really...
Yeah, but can you not just like open your arm out a little bit and just hit a different part of it?
You don't want your elbow
Do you have
up.
to hit this side? Why can't you hit this side?
No, it's not about the side, because you'd still go out to do it. But I find that this arm will just end up a bit more crunched depending on the position of things. But you can still apply literally every single technique, just move. Or you can have a central hi-hat, so you can actually get one of those the hi-hat setups that is over the top of the bass drum, so you can have a central one instead or whatever.
Would you say that... Okay, so I have a couple questions. Ilona has a question this time, too. So, question one off the back of what you just said.
Yes.
Obviously, most drum tutorials and lessons and stuff will be based off the idea of someone having a specific standard setup.
Yeah.
Does everyone... Could you just put the snare wherever the hell you wanted, if you wanted? Could you just have the snare over here and the toms over here and the hi-hat here? And I guess it just makes your life a bit harder, but could you, I guess, in theory?
Yeah, just the techniques would be difficult.
Yeah.
Because a lot of things depend on having a certain height involved in ratio to what you're
I mean, you've
dealing
just
with.
filmed the Drumming Through the Decades podcast with Vicky O'Neon, which is really cool, and you're going to love it. It's really good. Is there a reason why the drum kit is set up the way that it's set up?
That's a really good question. Ooh.
Why did we come to the configuration?
You know what? We didn't actually talk about why.
Oh, what's the point?
Yeah, no, but it's a
they
good
filmed like
point.
10 episodes.
Well, the bass drum and snare drum came first, so you kind of it makes sense that if
you
most
kind of just
people
built
are right hand
everything
led.
around it.
So the snare drum and then the bass drum would go on the right foot because that's the most coordinated, and then you've trained yourself on the right foot.
Yeah.
And then you've got the low boy, which is the first hi-hat kind of configuration that came in later. So you have the left foot spare. Yeah. So it would make sense that that would then go there. I'm not sure how we came about the whole crossover technique as well. Because mostly...
Well, there's a video that a lot of people comment on of me asking Emma, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
Why are we doing this? And you were like... It's so funny because the amount of people in the comments who are like... Because you say, I don't know, which you love doing when I ask you questions.
I'm not afraid to not know.
And people will be like, why did you bother making a video if you didn't know the answer? And I was like, because it was a Q&A. It was spontaneous. We didn't script that video. I just sat down. We didn't even plan for me to be in the video originally. We were just like, ha ha ha. I just kept asking her questions off screen. Yeah. And then our director, essentially, Chris, was like... Just go sit in and we'll just film you asking him other questions.
And just a little thing about creating content. You just have to create a lot of it. And that was kind of... It's more actually opening up the question to the comments anyway.
Yeah, to be a lot more interesting answers came, from the comments anyway. Gareth says, drummers are the most in demand at open mics. Take note, people. True. You will end up being in 5 bands at one point. Yeah. And that's very normal. That's a rite of passage. You honestly have your pick. You will be a very for me, I feel like drummers and photographers are the most popular people in the music industry. Everyone wants you. Yeah, everyone wants you. No one wants to pay you, but everyone wants you.
I'd say videographers now.
Videographers and photographers. I wish I'd gotten into videography and photography because I would be rolling in it for all of my musician friends. It's great. Gotwe says it checks the tension on the head near the tuning lug.
Okay.
That's cool. ST says, just picked up a new Questlove kit and have started learning my paradiddles thanks to you. There you go.
I like the little disco.
Little disco. I need to use that emoji more. That's a good emoji. I use the dancing lady in the red dress a lot. I like that one. Jessie says, hi to all the new folks. Don't forget to leave a like. It really helps. If you like the vibe, then to subscribe as well and stay notified by hitting the bell. Jessie, I love you. You're the best. I'm starting to think that he's just saying that so that we just give him praise.
I think so.
John says, just started hitting the skins again after a 50-year layoff.
Wow.
What made you stop?
Yeah.
Oh, I've just had a weird twitch in my neck. Ah! That really hurt!
It was the ghost just
Oh.
going,
Yeah, what made you stop? I'm always curious about this when people... I mean, fair enough, life happens. You just kind of stop.
Most
but like,
people, it's just life. They get a job, they get a house, they get a this, they get a that.
I had a very funny exchange with a student on email the other day when they were like, oh, I have to move my lesson because work's booked in a meeting. And I was like, don't they know the priority is drums? And he was like, exactly. I have to it's so funny because I'll have students be like, I finish work at 5. Can I book my lesson for 5? And I'm like, I'll book you in for 6 so that you have time to rest and recuperate. And they're like, oh, thank you. They're like, you need to rest after.
People.
They're like, no, I have to play drums straight away. I need to play drums when I finish work. I'm like, guys, just gentle parenting all of our students. Let me scroll up. Max says, do drummers always have to be louder than everyone else in the band, or is that just my sister's drummer being selfish? As in when they talk? Or
what do you mean?
Or instrumentally? I would say, I don't know, as a vocalist, I would say I'm the most boisterous and loud in the band, 100%. I wouldn't say that you're
Drummers are notorious for hitting the drums too hard.
Yeah.
It comes with the territory, really. It's something they either learn or don't learn.
Also, what's the fun in having a drum kit and just being like, just going
Ask
to
the
tickle
people
it?
who play jazz. I don't get it. I
don't know. Have you seen Whiplash?
Okay.
Touche.
Touche.
Yeah. ST says, how do you truly know if the drum heads are tuned properly? Tightness?
It's entirely personal
You
preference. As long as there are
pray
no
to
wrinkles
whatever
in it.
Lord you believe in and hope for
You
the
do a
best.
rain dance, just sprinkles coming over it.
You sacrifice a goat,
Speaking
I don't know.
tongues.
Lynn says, Max, in my band, it's actually the guitarist who's
Oh.
loudest. There you go.
Bloody
It's the
guitarist.
biggest ego, really, isn't it? Gareth says, in relation to why the drum kit is set up the way it is, I once asked if the earth needs to actually spin. The answer I got was they didn't know, but we can't stop it now, lol. That's a good answer, I like that. The Brewski says, funny idea for you. 2 drummers maliciously set up a kit's layout for the other kid to play, then both play the same piece for judges. That's an amazing
Great idea. That's a screenshot.
That's genuinely a
immediately.
really good
That
idea.
is a really
that is
good one.
actually hilarious.
That's a corker, that is.
I'm putting that in the work group chat right now. There you are.
I like it. I like it a
That's
lot.
hilarious. We could 100% do something like that. We're really good friends with Mr. Greggles, who's a Twitch streamer, who plays drums, and we went to visit him recently, a few months ago. My time perception's gone. We went to visit him, and we joined him on his streams and played some drums, and I would love to do something like that with him because I think he would find that so funny.
Yeah.
Emma and him did like a drum off at Radar Festival last year, which we did film, which we will put on the internet at some point when we've edited it. But yes, something like that is hilarious. I'm literally sending that into the chat right now. I just need to get it load. WhatsApp, please load. Weird. There we go.
But yeah, that would be real. I already know what I would do.
How would you lay it out?
No, that'd be telling, wouldn't it?
No, I want to know. Yeah, but this one
I'd have one crash cymbal that would literally be 6 foot tall. First of all the crashes. You'd have to stand up to play each crash, basically. I'd definitely do that. And then, I don't know what else. There'd be so much janky stuff.
That's such a good idea.
Have all the toms
I
really
love that.
flat, but also really high, so you have to like...
What about having drums tilted away so you have to like...
Yes.
And maybe you can choose what sticks they have to use as well. Oh my gosh, this is so funny.
Yeah.
I love this idea.
I think we should actually spin a wheel to see what sticks we get.
Oh my god, that's a
Yeah.
good... So it's not even like you design it, it's just like you roll a dice and the different parts of the kit are like...
Oh, it could be like too high, too short.
Oh yeah,
tilted
stuff
away,
like
tilted
that. And
towards.
then you just take... Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
You've got the ideas going now.
Yeah,
This is
dude.
great. CD, I play mola with sticks, but traditional with brushes. When I reverse this, it's a disaster.
Oh
What do you
yeah, I
think?
play if I'm doing brushwork, because you're doing circles, I usually play traditional.
That makes sense.
Which I just realised I don't play traditional for literally anything else, but it makes you feel like you're doing it properly if you're using brushes.
Arturo says, "Hey Emma, thank you for all of your videos. Greetings from Mexico."
Hello to you in Mexico.
John says, "Kids, lol."
Lol. 26. Lol.
Jesse says, on the subject of loud drummers, thoughts on the silent stage where acoustic drums and guitar speaker cabinets are replaced by e-kits and front of house PAs, so there is almost no sound on stage. Yeah, it's interesting. I can understand in certain situations why this might be beneficial, because you have a lot of control over the sound by doing that. Also, one of the issues since the beginning of time with instruments on a stage and mixing for an audience is that you have a lot of bleed of the on-stage sound going out to the audience, and so there's only so much you can do to control how good it will sound to people.
In this day and age,
But
as a working musician,
Yeah.
I was talking to Mark about this yesterday actually, because he was talking about getting into gigging, and I was like, don't bother with amps, just get yourself like a simulation. I know it sucks. Trust me, guitarists. I know it's awful, but just get something that directly plugs into a desk, essentially, because that's what everyone uses. I think. Also,
transporting that into a dingy little venue in London's going to make your life a whole lot easier.
Yeah.
The amount of times that man has carried a bass cab through the streets of London.
Don't.
Just Play says, you're still on. Nice. You should have been here the whole time.
Yeah, in fact, we probably should make a...
Where did you go? No, I want to hang out with my friends. You're just also here.
Your friends.
Raul says, another Mexican here and love your videos, tips and all of your channel. I didn't know we were doing so well in Mexico. You guys need to speak up more. Hello.
Summit.
Gottwies says, I think we crossed for that reason Emma mentioned a few minutes ago. You avoid that chicken wing hindering mobility on the snare and hat. That's an amazing way to describe that. And he says that the drum is tuned properly when it sounds good. Thank you for your contribution.
Yep.
Cheers.
Yep. Water wet.
Raul says, question, do you have Listen Hard Times Kiss? The drummer was Anton Fig, and the bass drum and bass guitar are awesome.
I have not. I'll have to have a listen to it.
Kiss is one of those bands where their music doesn't sound anything like they look.
No.
Right?
Not at all.
Whatsoever.
It's so glam.
They should be so much heavier, really, just visually, by the bass on the visuals.
Well, same with Black Sabbath, and you listen to Ozzy Osbourne's vocals.
And Ghost and stuff like that.
Compared to, it's so funny.
I mean, I guess you could also argue Sleep Token are kind of a little bit like that, where some of their music is heavy, but a lot of their music is actually really poppy as well. John Searing went all in and purchased a Ludwig Vistalite Blue Bonham style lol and an Alexis Nitro kit as I like to practice late.
Oh my god.
You treated yourself.
Is that
fair dues?
Entire life savings.
The hi-hat below the snare. Yeah, you can have like stuff on top of each other. So you have all the drums where the cymbals are and have all the cymbals where the drums are. You could do a whole video where you just do different setups.
We have
That's
to talk. We
so
have to
funny.
talk to a hardware brand. Maybe we should talk to Dixon or
That
someone,
would be so
and we should
funny.
like make this happen, because
so
I think it would be
I
amazing.
think that would be hilarious. Upside down Tom. Yeah, see, now everyone's getting the ideas. All cymbals replaced by tambourines. Stag 5A matched weight bossa wood. That you just get like a tree trunk.
Do you know what? Actually, no.
Sticks.
Every single drum and cymbal is just a cowbell. Different tuned cowbells.
Yeah. Oh my god. Brooke Ade says, I'm a giant gong collector. Bless you.
That is what she said.
And recommendations. That is cool as hell. I'm not gonna lie.
Gong collector.
I have some gongs because fun fact about me, my dad's a Buddhist. He's not in the picture anymore, but he has left behind a collection of singing bowls and gongs. And they are very cool. Yeah, they do sound very interesting. I love that.
We can't give recommendations, however.
Unfortunately, no, I know nothing about gongs, but that's very cool. The channel's now called Love to Learn and Learn It. Yeah, you bet it is. You guys should check out a band called The Physics House. Band drumming is pretty rad on it, says Justin. The Physics House.
Noted.
I'm going to write that on my laptop so I don't forget.
Laugh if it is just your band.
Yeah, it's just your band. Very clever, Justin. Got Wheeze. This is my double kick cymbal setup. You could have like a triple kick, just like excessive amounts of kicks. So the whole thing's just
so much to do. There's so
You've really
much.
got the cogs whirring now.
Yeah.
This is such a good idea.
The possibilities are endless.
That purple monkey, what a name. I just got a new drum set. I just finished building it yesterday. Any suggestions to tune it or tinker with it? We just had someone ask this earlier in the chat. We're not big on advice for tuning, but we have got a podcast coming out at some point when it gets edited about how to make your drum kit, how to tweak your drum kit to just make it sound that much bit better. So keep an eye out for that. Max says, how do I reply to people? I don't know if you can reply to people directly. No, you can't. You have to just kind of at people in your message, I think is what people do. Jesse says, honestly, this is a fun idea, but it's good to also check and see whether there's a better configuration since drum kits are such a new instrument. I'm just interested to see, what setups were tried and didn't end up sticking. Do you know what I mean? There must be drummers. I would love us, if we had the time and resources, to do a video on like weird drum setups that certain drummers, like famous drummers, have of how they've done it.
There's so many options to how you can do it, but I think the reason we've ended up with what we've got is because of the nature of everything we've played on drums has been written for the shape of drum kit we've got, and therefore trying to play stuff that's written on a drum kit like that on a setup that's completely different might be more challenging, to be honest. Yeah. And also just the way things are set up in terms of pedals and where your feet can go and stuff like that, in terms of ergonomically working for a long period of time, I think we've got it. Because the drum kit has been around for about 100 years now. So, I mean, there have been some janky setups. I've seen some crazy stuff.
Well, it's just like when things didn't, this happens a lot with tech and with machinery. Like if you look at what
the micro CD.
If you look at even just like take phones, right? Everyone's phone looks the same. Everyone has a black rectangle. That's what everyone's phone looks like nowadays. But when mobile phones first really became mainstream, the wild disparity between the different styles and approaches to design were so interesting. And
I love that we're telling this to the audience that I know for a fact is at least 20
I know.
our senior.
But like, I just take it as an example of like, I'd be interested to see what that. I feel like that must apply to any tech and any development of anything.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'd love to see what drums look like in their experimentation phase.
That's true.
Lynn says, I think El Espario says tried 4 kicks with the dualist pedal. Jessie says, I've totally seen a quad kick on a YouTube channel before. Each pedal had 2 beaters. It was awesome.
Oh my God.
That purple monkey says, my name is a reference to the Gorilla Tag VR. Fair enough. Gotweed says, I notice a lot of soul funk drummers have pretty unique kit configurations. Yeah, I feel like there's gonna be some. Yeah. There's no rules, guys.
No rules, man.
No rules, man.
Total freedom, man. It's drums. It's music, man.
Harvey Lee says, thanks for this live stream, Emma and Ilona. You're so welcome. We should actually end it because we are half an hour over technically. Yeah. Anika says, I love your content. You should check out the band Berry Tixarak. That was my best attempt. I'm sorry. Probably the best Basque band ever. I'll have to look into it because I've not heard of any of these words. It sounds like another language to me.
It probably is.
Jessie says, yeah, the ergonomics are limiting to design for sure. A problem I've encountered with my accessibility-based guitar design. Yeah. I mean, I'd be interested to see how it develops in the future. For stuff like, Jessie, obviously, I might be remembering wrong, but you're disabled, am I right? So you have a very specific setup to accommodate that. I'd be really interested to see how instrumentation develops to be more inclusive of that kind of thing.
Oh, it's Ryan. Good timing. We're leaving.
Ryan, your timing's terrible. We're literally about to finish. Keith, one of the best channels I've watched to learn drums from, a subscriber from the Philippines. Thank you so much. Jules says, I've learned a lot from this channel. Thank you. Mike Mangini or Mike Portnoy?
I have no opinions one way or the other.
Yes, I'm disabled. There you go. I didn't want to be like, you're disabled, and you're like, no, I'm not. I'm fine. What? But yes, no, exactly. So I'd be interested to see how that develops. But yes, right, we are going to cut it off there. But thank you so much for coming, everyone. Thank you, everyone on TikTok. In future, we'll slip this in right at the end before TikTok beats us off. Come to YouTube.
Love to learn drums.
We answer all the questions on YouTube. Thank you so much to everyone who attended. Thank you to the new members. Thank you to the old members.
Thank you for the donation.
So much. Thank you so much for the donation.
Who was that from?
We really appreciate hanging out with you.
I think it was a rainbow
It's
something.
nice.
Yes, it is fun to have chin wags with
nice.
you all.
Yeah.
And we shall see you probably...
Buy drum mummies.
Oh, that's going to stick.
Oh, that's amazing. Yes.
Love it.
Thank you so much, you guys. We will see you again next week, probably on Thursday. Check out the channel and keep an eye out for when we schedule the live stream, because it will...
chop and change through the summer because we are
exactly
here, there, and everywhere. Anyway, bye-bye, everybody.
We'll see you later.
All right, bye, everybody.